Hi guys, this is my 2000 Mercedes CL-500. I'll just explain these stickers to begin with. I go to Le Mans every year, I have done for the last 10 years, and it's the tradition that you sticker up your car. I found that one of these, a CL-55, an F1 edition, which was the first production car to ever have ceramic brakes, um, it was used as the safety car back in Formula One in 2000. So I got a friend helped me copy the stickers, and I also got an orange light for the top. And then I drove down there with that. So that's the reason it's got these silly stickers on it, which will be taken off at some point in the near future. So this is, 2000 CL500. It's the second time that I've owned it. I bought it originally off of a classic car dealer that took it in part exchange. It had a suspension fault, which is where it went over the bump. Warning came up on the dash because it has hydraulic suspension. So there's a hydraulic strut at each corner, and then it has balls, these balls that are filled with nitrogen and have a rubber membrane that absorb the bumps. One of those is split internally. So I replaced those front and back, did a suspension service, and that rectified that fault. I then gave it a full detail, as I do. Fitted some new tyres and had the wheels refurbished. And I also replaced a front headlight because the headlight kept flickering. I managed to find one on eBay for £50. That was a bit of a bargain. So I did that, and then I decided to sell the car because I was going to end up spending too much money on it, and then it wouldn't have been profitable, which was the objective at the time. So I sold it on to an old chap who kept it in a helicopter hangar. And then about a year, 18 months later, I saw it advertised, called him up, bought it back off of him for £2,000 less than I sold it to him for. And he'd also done some various bits and pieces of work on it at the time as well, in the time that he had it. So yeah, I'll just go through the spec. So it's a 2000 CL500. It has the AMG body kit and wheels. So I think at the time this would have been the highest or most expensive car you could buy from Mercedes because they hadn't introduced the 55 AMG or the 600 at the time. Inside, it's got the upgraded Napa leather with the Alcantara headlining, Napa leather parcel shelf and electric sunblind. It has voice activation, which was a new feature at the time. It has radar cruise control, again, which was brand new at the time. Full command system with TV and phone. You have heated and cooled seats, which again was brand new at the time, and also massage seats. So it had literally every option on it. So it's a lovely spec, and I really do like the shape of them. I think, there's just something, there's something cool about them. It's like a Grand Tourer, a bit nostalgic, a bit romantic, I suppose. So that's it, yeah. Driving one down to the south of France, there was quite a few Top Gear and Fifth Gear. I think Quentin Wilson had one in the south of France. He did a review of it. So as with the W124s, this is actually, well, not five, but this is the fourth CL that I've owned. The very first CL was a CL65, the twin turbo V12. So I started at the top. It was when I worked for Mercedes at the main dealer at the time, and a guy part exchanged his CL65 for a AMG GT that had just come out at the time. Came in part exchange, and I was asked if I wanted it, and it was £8,000. So it was a bit of a no-brainer. It had been neglected a bit. It needed service and some suspension bits and wheels refurb, new set of tyres and various bits and pieces that I like doing, and a full detail. So I did all that. I actually took it to a Mercedes Club day, and it won first prize at the CL day. I think that was back in 2016. I was then made an offer of 20,000 for it, which obviously I couldn't refuse. So I sold that. After that, I had another part exchange come in, which was quite an interesting spec. It was Mystic Blue. It was a Mystic Blue CL500. And then it had Designo interior as well, which was it was blue and black Napa leather with black bird's eye maple wood. So I purchased that. I left Mercedes then for a bit, and I did detailing. So I actually used that to drive about for quite a while. So I put about 10,000 miles on it. And then I sold that for pretty much what I paid for it. After that, I decided to go for the newer shape, which ended up being a bit of a disaster. Found one dark blue, cream interior, again, lovely spec. Purchased it, and it had a slight noise from the engine, which I thought was Mercedes issued a technical bulletin in regards to a check valve on the timing chain tensioner, which I thought was the issue. But it turned out it wasn't. There was an issue with the cam adjusters, and then I found that it had bore scoring. So it ended up needing a new engine, which cost an absolute fortune. It was a complete disaster, and that was the end of that. Sold it and lost a fortune. And then after that, I purchased this one, which was my fourth one. Again, as I've explained, I purchased from a classic car dealer, sold it, and then I decided to buy it back because it's better the devil you know, as they say. So here is everything that I've done to this since I've bought it back. So the first thing I did was a full service, because I didn't know when it had last had one, a proper full service. So it had new engine oil and filter, all 16 spark plugs replaced, because there's 2 per cylinder, gearbox fluid and filter, both the engine air filters were replaced, the air intake pipes replaced, oil cap, suspension had already been done, but I replaced the filters on it again. Did the cabin filters, of which there's 2 sets. There's one set for pollen and another set for charcoal, supposedly. Or engine fuel filter, which is underneath at the back. Both the drive shaft donuts were replaced. The gearbox mount was replaced. And I also replaced the front and the rear brake discs. And this was all using Mercedes Benz parts. There's that. I painted the calipers previously when I had it. So there's that. So then after I'd done all the service and everything, I then started using it and discovered a coolant leak. There was a tiny coolant leak from the top of the radiator here, because this fan is metal and it's screwed into the plastic radiator. And someone did the screw up too tight and it resulted in it leaking. So I've replaced the radiator and I've also replaced all the pipes. And whilst they're in there, I also found a gearbox pipe that was rusty, so replaced that also. Did all that, and I also ended up replacing this metal fan because the old one was an aftermarket Chinese job and it just wasn't working properly. So I did that. Then everything was pretty much fine. The only thing was I kept worrying about the suspension, because I knew I was going to take it to Le Mans eventually. But the suspension pump, which is ABC suspension pump, just there, I didn't know when it had been replaced, and they only have a certain life. So I decided to replace that. And whilst I was waiting for that to arrive, I had this side skirt and also the front bumper repainted, including the grills and everything, just to freshen it up. Whilst that was off, I did all underneath and undersealed it. So that was all good. Had the pump done. Then it came back after that, and I carried on doing bits and pieces. So there was some stuff missing from the toolkit. The multi-function sensor for the climate control, which detects all air quality and everything, which is just there. I replaced that because it was showing there was a fault with that. I also sourced a mobile phone that works. So there's a mobile phone, all working, got a SIM card in it. And I also located a command remote control, so you can control the sat nav and bits from in the back. So I did that. So that was all done. There was some interior trim that was sticky, so I sorted all that out. Also, common problem, my dad's done it on his SL55. The accelerator pedals wear out where they're electronic, so that was replaced. And then I went for then it was due an MOT, so took it for an MOT. And you'd think after spending all that money it would pass, but it failed. It ended up needing both of the front suspension struts here replacing, because there was play in the top of them, and also a rear suspension arm. Whilst it was there, I had the aircon regassed, and then that was it. It got its pass. There was an issue with the boot lights. I fixed that. CD changer never worked, so I replaced that. Again, that was a bit of a bargain, £20 off eBay. The massage, one of the switches wasn't working, And also the final thing was I got a new set of Michelin PS5s. So that was it. So that's everything that I've done to it. It's all good at the minute. There is a slight noise from this corner, but I've had it checked out and they couldn't find anything wrong. So other than the fact that some of the suspension parts that have been fitted are by the guy that owned it previously are cheap aftermarket ones. So I may replace them with the Mercedes ones in due course. But other than that, that's everything I've done. Oh yeah, and also I've had a new windscreen because it was all scratchy and had little chips in it. But other than that, that's everything that I've done. And it's, yeah, lovely car. I enjoy owning it. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.